my roommate had a giant, or what felt like a giant friend group, and she would be coming in with her friends and they would be leaving, going out together. And I was like, it feels like everyone has it all figured out. Like, my roommate has this big friend group already. I see everybody going out and walking around in groups together, and I'm just sitting in my room alone on a Friday night, FaceTiming my mom. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I think isn't talked about enough, which is making friends in college and how hard it can be. On social media, I always see people posting about how college is the most fun time of your life, and I think that's also often depicted in movies, and people say that a lot about how it's going to be the best time of your life. But sometimes college can feel really lonely, and it can be discouraging, feeling like maybe you're doing something wrong, because if everyone's having so much fun, why aren't you? That's definitely how I felt, especially freshman year. So I'm going to be talking about my experience, advice, and things I learned about making friends. When I first got to college, I hung out a lot with the people who I knew from high school, and that is something I'm really grateful for, that I had them. But it was kind of a situation where we might not have been hanging out otherwise. Like, we didn't really hang out in high school, but we didn't have any other friends, so we all kind of hung out. But even still, we didn't hang out a lot, so there was a lot of times that first few months where I was just alone in my dorm room, and my roommate had what felt like a giant friend group, and she would be coming in with her friends and they would be leaving, going out together. And I felt really lonely, and I was like, it feels like everyone has it all figured out. Like, my roommate has this big friend group already. I see everybody going out and walking around in groups together, and I'm just sitting in my room alone on a Friday night, FaceTiming my mom. And I love my mom, so that's no dig on her. But I was like, why does everybody have all these friends and I'm just in my room by myself? I felt like I was putting myself out there and maybe trying to make friends, introduce myself to people in classes or stuff like that, but I didn't really click with anybody. So I was spending a lot of time on my own. I would eat alone in the dining hall. I would spend weekends alone in my room, or like going for walks. But it ended up really becoming tough, and I got really depressed. I questioned so many times, like, what's wrong with me? Because it feels like everyone else has magically made all these friends, but I'm not, so it must be something wrong with me. So let me just say, if you're in college and you feel really lonely and you think that everybody else has made all these friends and you haven't, just know that that's not true. You're not alone. You've already made such a great step just by going to college, living on your own for the first time. That's a huge adjustment, and if you've done it, let me just say to you, good job, and I'm proud of you. It's normal not to have it all figured out. College doesn't have to be the best time of your life. You're still gonna have great times after it, so don't put that pressure on yourself. I was doing some research about it, and I found out that a survey by the American College Health Association reported that over 60% of college students reported feeling very lonely in the past year. So you're definitely not alone, and even if you're feeling like everybody else has it figured out and you don't, that's not true. And I think social media makes this feeling so much worse, because everything you're seeing on your feed is just your friends from your high school going off to their new schools and posting with all these friends and out at parties all the time. But in reality, people only post the highlights of their life. They're posting one night out of their whole month, and that might have been the only time they went out with friends, and they might actually be really lonely. So don't take social media at face value. Don't feel like you're alone, because you're definitely not. If you put yourself out there and introduce yourself to a couple people and it doesn't work out and you don't become best friends right away, that's normal. You're not going to be best friends with everyone, and don't let that discourage you. Keep putting yourself out there. If you introduce yourself to someone, 90% of the time they're going to be thankful and they're going to want to talk to you, and you're going to have a good conversation. If that person is rude, then that's their problem and not yours, because why would you be mean to someone who's just trying to make friends? That says a lot more about them than you. So don't be afraid to do it. Make it a goal and set an intention to talk to one new person that day. Or at an event, make it a goal to go up to 2 people and introduce yourself. Doing stuff like that is going to help you get practice getting out of your shell. It's going to make you feel more confident, and it probably will get you a couple of friends. During my spring semester of freshman year, I decided to rush and join a sorority. I ended up joining one, and I really just wanted to put myself out there, and I was tired of not having a friend group and feeling really lonely. So I did it, and rushing gave me so much practice being confident and talking to people. If you join Greek Life, you will meet a ton of new people. I'm still friends with a couple of those girls to this day, and I'm so thankful that I met them. I'm thankful that I did it for that reason. However, I did end up dropping the sorority and deciding to leave because I just wasn't a fan of the Greek life culture in general. But in the process, I met so many people. I really put myself out there, and it did make me feel like I was finally kind of having a college experience. So if you feel like that's something you want to do, definitely go for it. Whether it be Greek life or another organization, like any clubs, something like that could be really, really helpful. My sophomore year, I actually ended up joining a business fraternity. So don't feel like when you join one thing, you're locked into that and you have to stick with it forever. If it ends up feeling like it's not right for you and you're not clicking with the people in it, don't feel like you're stuck. You can make the decision to leave and try something else. College is a really cool time because there's no limit to the amount of things you can try. You can join 50 clubs at once if you want. You probably won't be able to go to all of them, but you get what I'm saying. You can try so many new things. Don't be afraid to use the resources that your college provides for you. I actually ended up going to the college counseling that they provided, and I joined an anxiety support group my freshman year. That made me feel really comforted knowing there was other students on my campus dealing with severe anxiety just like I was. Don't be afraid to take advantage of those resources your college provides. So now I'm going into my junior year of college, and if I was to talk to you about my social life, I have a very small group of close friends. I don't beat myself up anymore about having a giant friend group or constantly needing to be out and going to parties. If I had stayed in the sorority I was in, I would have been going to things way more than I do now, but that just didn't feel right to me, and I realized that I didn't need that, and I didn't want to stay in something that didn't feel like it was for me. And I'm glad I did that. And I've learned to really value being alone with myself. I've grown a lot more confident in who I am, and I don't feel like I need to have a ton of friends because quality over quantity. The few friends that I do have, I love so much, and I know that that goes both ways. I know that they have my back, and that's what matters to me the most. Know that being alone is okay. You don't look weird. People aren't noticing you or making fun of you in their head because you're sitting on the bench alone. It's okay, and college is probably one of the few times that you're gonna have a lot of time to just do your own thing. So take advantage of that. Go to the library and study. Go explore a new shop or a new restaurant that you want to try out. I've grown to really appreciate those times by myself because I like who I am and I know that I have value. My college has a gym that's free to students. I really love going to the classes they provide. Again, those classes are free for students. So I go to the yoga classes that they have, and that's something that I really like doing by myself, but also that could be a great opportunity to introduce yourself to another student who's in the class with you. So try out new things, take advantage of the resources your college gives you, like clubs, the gym, free classes. Go to the little events that the college puts on, even if you feel silly. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Introduce yourself to new people, but at the end of the day, you might not make a ton of friends right off the bat, and don't question yourself. Don't wonder if there's something wrong with you. It's normal, and you will make friends. College is a roller coaster. You're living on your own for the first time, which can be really, really exciting and fun, but sometimes it can also feel really lonely, and sometimes you might struggle with your mental health. So don't compare yourself to anyone else. It's your journey, and things will get better even if it doesn't feel like it. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, comment below, or subscribe to me. Let me know if there's anything else that you would like to hear my perspective about. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.